All right, you all go to withoutyourhead.com. I'll come over there and put my boot up in your ass.
This is Bill Johnson, and you're listening to withoutyourhead.com. Feed your head.
All right, we are back, and we're joined by Jeff Broadstreet. Welcome to Without Your Head.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah. Well, I'll let everybody know it. You've directed Night of the Living Dead in 3D, and if everyone wants to check that out, like some more information, go to NOTLD3D.com. We'll put the link up on the website, too.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So why did you decide to make it in 3D?
That actually was not my decision. That was the decision of the executive producer. When we decided to make the film, originally we were going to make it in 2D. And then he called me back about a week later and said that we're going to make it in 3D. I guess it probably differentiated a little bit, and the 3D craze is actually we were kind of ahead of the wave of all these 3D films have been announced, but I to differentiate it a little bit. But I think he also knew that I had even though I had not shot a feature in 3D, he knew that I had come close a couple of times and knew the process and what was involved, and so I didn't have to learn it from scratch. I knew who to call. I knew how to set the shots up. So, but what's interesting about that story is that we had agreed on a budget, and then he calls me about a week later and says, "Okay, we're going to make it in 3D now, but you have to do it for the same price," which is not an easy thing to do, even on a small film. 3D adds quite a bit to your budget, so that was challenging, to say the least.
Was it a lot harder to actually film it in 3D?
No, it actually didn't slow us down much at all during production. It's a bit more complicated in post, but during production, basically, you have a 2-camera rig, and you have to realign the shot for every single shot or setup. Now, what that means is you have to align the 2 cameras depending on what you want the focus of the 3D to be within the shot. In other words, every shot, needs to have a foreground, which would be sort of at the screen plane, and then you need to have a midground and a background. So you have to decide what the focus is going to be. Like if you want to have something come off the screen, then you have to converge the 2 cameras. You have to set the 2 cameras to have the 3D focus on something coming off the screen. So you just have to plan it out in advance. But for me, it was, like I said, I'd almost made a couple of films before in 3D, so I pretty much knew what I wanted to do. One of the limiting factors of 3D, however, which most people don't know, is that you pretty much have to shoot the whole movie with a wide-angle lens, because if you use longer lenses, it tends to flatten out the image, and if you flatten out the image, you don't have any 3D. So that was a little limiting in that respect. But other than that, no, the 3D really didn't slow us down much at all. Not our stereographer, Dan Sims, has quite a bit of experience, so we actually moved pretty quick.
When you first heard that you guys were going to do 3D, was there any any scenes that just popped in your head that you wanted to put in the movie for with some of the zombies?
There were, but a lot of them didn't make it into the movie. This was not a big movie, and it had a fairly short schedule, and the movie was originally intended to be very gory, heavy on the gore, and the movie, when you finally see it, is not that heavy on the gore. And part of that is, a lot of the fans of the internet have given me a lot of crap for this, but the movie it's not a real gory film. And like I said, part of that is because we simply didn't have time to shoot some of the gags. But I didn't want to do stuff that was real gratuitous. In other words, I didn't want to make a real gimmicky, over-the-top movie, even if I had the time. Like if you watch, the episode of the Patricia Arquette show, whatever what's it called? Can't think of the name, on NBC, when they had a 3D episode about a year and a half ago, where they were throwing knives at the camera and stuff. We decided from the get-go that we wanted this movie to be able to play in 2D. The movie obviously has some 3D gags and some pretty good ones, I think, but they're not real gimmicky, and there's not a ton of them. We've also been criticized for not having enough 3D bits or gags, but I think I would get criticized if I'd have gone too far that way too. So,
right.
As one of the people I talked to about it, it's like damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Mm-hmm. I think like Jaws 3, like like just poking a big pole towards the camera for no particular reason if you're not watching it in 3D.
The majority of the stuff in our movie is motivated and organic, and that's how I planned the shots out. Because you're right, a lot of films that were shot in 3D, most films that play in 3D, their main life is in 2D. Like if you go back and look at Jaws 3D, or if you look at Amityville 3D, there's a lot of stuff in those films that you can just tell, was done specifically for the 3D, and sometimes it makes the films. And it makes the films a little kind of, I don't know, it just makes them seem not to wear very well, age very well.
Mm-hmm. I know John's actually...
The Creature from the Black Lagoon or something.
Right, actually I didn't even know The Creature from Black Lagoon was filmed in 3D till recently.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw it in 3D about 15 years ago. It looks really good. Underwater scenes look really good in 3D. Mm-hmm. That's actually one of the best 3D films out there.
What you going to call it here? I believe it's Goosey.
Yeah, I just wanted to get Mr. Broadstreet's thoughts. What was it like working with Sid Haig?
Sid was great to work with. He didn't know this until actually we had wrapped photography, but we actually wrote that role for him. So I had him in mind from the very beginning. I had been aware of Sid's career for years, going back to the 70s, and he hadn't kind of worked for a while before House of a Thousand Corpses. Mm-hmm. So when I saw House of a Thousand Corpses, when he comes on at the beginning of the movie, I just thought he was really funny and good. And I said to myself, where has this guy been? I want to work with that guy. So we actually wrote the role for him. Robert Balding, the screenwriter, who, by the way, is a big fan of your show, said, do you think we can get him? And I said, well, you let me worry about that. And so we got him, and he was really good to work with. All his years of experience really helped us. And he's got one scene in the film that's I think you're really gonna be blown away by. He's just what he kind of. Our film kind of explains the origin of how the outbreak started, kind of. So he's got a really big scene involved with that, and he's just really good at that.
Mm-hmm. Did you have a question, John, from the board?
Oh, yeah. Ryan, he wants to know, what were you trying to accomplish with this movie, aside from the 3D experience?
What were we trying to accomplish? Mm-hmm. We were trying to make a good movie.
That's always a good thing to have in mind, I think.
The last film I can really think of that was in, 3D was probably, Freddy's Dead. Has there been any,
Freddy Vision, I believe.
Yeah, Freddy Vision, excuse me.
But it wasn't only the end of that film in 3D.
Yeah, right. It was just, I went to see that at the theater.
Yeah.
And they gave a go on, sorry, man.
I was just wondering if there was, any, new technological breakthroughs in the 3D world as pertaining to this film.
Well, our film does kind of have that in the regard. The film, when you see it in the theater, or if you see it on DVD, you'll see it in the old-fashioned red-blue anaglyph process. Mm. And people have, I've read on some of the websites or on the IMDb pages, that they go, why didn't they release it in Real D, or why isn't it in IMAX? Well, the reason for that is anaglyph, the old-fashioned anaglyph, is the really only economically feasible way to release a small film. Most of the films that you're seeing released in 3D right now are animated films, and they're being released in Real D. Now, Real D is a superior process, but it's also quite expensive. And so for us, it was just not, financially feasible. Now, so it was filmed in essentially an older process that's been around since the 50s. But the one thing that our film does have which is it's a first in 3D features, is that we shot this film in high definition, and we used lightweight high definition cameras, and we had 2 custom rigs built so that this film could have Steadicam and handheld. And so this is the first 3D film to feature extensive handheld and Steadicam photography. So you're going to see the camera really moving a lot more and getting closer to the actors than any 3D film that has been made. Now, I'm sure when Jim Cameron's, I guess is he switched back to Avatar? Which one is he making? The one that's coming out in 2009, like Jim Cameron's got like a $300 million film that he's working on that was supposed to come out in 2009. I'm sure that'll be the state-of-the-art 3D film. But until that comes out, ours is pretty much, it's got some state-of-the-art features, as I said, with the handheld and the Steadicam.
Did you have anything else there, Goosey?
Nope.
All right, thanks for calling in, man.
Thanks for calling in, dude.
No problem.
If anybody else wants to call, the number is 508-644-8503. What do you think makes zombies such an enduring movie monster?
People just, I don't know, man. It's just like people just like zombie movies. The zombie genre is not my specific favorite type of horror film. I certainly like them, but they're not my favorite kind of film. But it's funny because when we were starting to work on this film, everybody just wanted to be a zombie. Everybody wanted to be a zombie extra. And it's like, oh yeah, I mean, even our casting director has got a featured role in the film. Wanted to be a zombie. People, I don't know. It's just Romero basically created the genre, in '68, because before that, zombies were basically thought of as like, from voodoo, and then he kind of gave it a reason. And although in that film they're never actually referred to as zombies, did you know that?
That's true, though.
They're referred to as flesh eaters, which was the original title of the film, Night of the Flesh Eaters. So people just, I'm not really, even though I made this film, I'm not really a zombie expert. I tried to do the best job I could with the film, but I never, a lot of people ask me questions similar to this. Well, the last thing in the world, I've made previous horror films, and I've got a number of horror films that I wanted to make, but the last thing in the world I thought I would be doing was remaking Night of the Living Dead, because I liked the first film, and I thought Savini did a good job with the 1990 version. So when the gig was offered to me, we just went into it with our approach being we're just going to try to make the best movie we can with the resources we have available.
Did you try to stick to some of like the rules of zombies in movies?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do they run?
They do not.
Okay.
Excellent. The rules in this film are basically the rules of the Romero zombie. And one of the things that I wanted to do, which I wanted to try to achieve in the makeup, which I think we ended up getting a little bit more of a broader look than I originally set out to get. But one of the things I wanted to do was have the zombies look more like the way dead people really look, the way corpses really look. And I wanted them to move. We had a zombie movement coordinator, and my instructions were to him when he was working with the extras, was I wanted the zombies to move the way they would be if somebody was hit by a car, and sustained massive, bodily damage, let's say a broken leg or whatever, or if somebody died of a heart attack, they would move in a different way. And so I wanted them to move as realistically as possible. So no, they don't run. They don't talk and crave for brains, which is. By the way, I know Dan O'Bannon, and actually on the set quite a bit when he was shooting Return of the Living Dead in '85. But that was sort of, he made up some of his own rules for that. Now we do have a little bit of a twist. I said they don't talk and crave for brains, but we do have a little bit of a twist in that area, which I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to wait for the DVD. But no, I wasn't a big fan of I liked the 2004 version of Dawn of the Dead, but I didn't like the whole running thing. It just doesn't make any sense to me. That a zombie is going to be able to run, and also in 28 Days Later, which is a film I liked, but they're more like rabid people. I think in those two cases you had two guys who made quote unquote zombie movies who didn't really want to be making a zombie movie,
right.
And also even though I'm a fan of George Romero, I thought his central premise for Land of the Dead was inherently flawed, because the whole thing about zombies is that if you're a zombie, you're a reanimated corpse and you are decomposing.
Right.
So how can a whole city, in Land of the Dead, there's this whole the haves and the have-nots. I mean, I get his
the
sociological underpinnings there, but basically he's created a whole second-class subclass of citizens who are zombies, and they just mill around indefinitely. But wouldn't they sort of be decomposing and falling apart? And where are the new zombies coming from? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I like parts of the film, but I just thought his central premise was flawed. But on the other hand, they probably said, well, it's a George Romero movie, people will go with it. But I just found that central premise to be flawed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, I think you got to agree with me.
Yeah, it's not my favorite one of the I guess not the trilogy of the 4 films.
No, I like Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead to me is the best zombie movie I've ever seen. The original one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd mark out for that one too.
Yeah.
But you've seen the Italian film Zombie, right? Where the guy fights the shark underwater?
Oh, that's a good movie too. I enjoy that. Zombie too.
That film was just nuts.
That's actually, I believe, isn't that a sequel to Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah, I believe overseas it was known as that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a different film.
Zombie 2?
No, if you look at it, it's a completely different film. Now, when they did release Dawn of the Dead initially overseas, I believe they did call it like Zombie 2, but it's not. It's not in any way a sequel. I bought it because I did a bunch of research. I mean, I was fairly familiar with zombie films before we started this project, but I read it and looked at everything that was out there just to make sure that we weren't repeating things and try to do some new stuff. And so I bought the DVD of Zombie, and no, it's not a sequel.
Okay. What do you think makes zombies scary?
Basically, the whole idea of the reanimated dead coming back, and that person could be your mother, and we sort of have that in our film, and it's a pretty creepy concept if you think about it. That one of your loved ones could come back, or your girlfriend or your wife could come back, and you're going to have to kill them or risk becoming one of them or dying. So, yeah, it's just the whole idea of people. People are obviously the majority of people are afraid of death, and rightly so. But there's the idea of them coming back. I mean, if you treat it realistically, I mean, if it's like a zombie comedy or something, a zombie. I don't.
It's a whole new genre of films.
Well, no, there's a few of those out there. There's a lot of super low budget movies. If you go to your DVD store and check it out, there's just rashes of really bad super low budget zombie movies. But I think people just the whole idea of reanimated corpses. It's in a way it's supernatural because we know they don't really exist. Although we do know that vampires and werewolves exist, but zombies don't.
Oh, okay. Do you have another question from the board inch?
Haas, he actually has a question. He wants to know what problems do you find with a 3D movie that you wouldn't find with a normal movie?
You mean during production?
Yeah, during production.
Not really. Like I said, it didn't really slow us down. I mean, if you're prepared and you know what you're doing and you've done some testing ahead of time, and you have an experienced stereographer, we didn't really encounter any big problems. But not to pat myself on the back, but like I said, I kind of knew what I was getting into, but not everybody does. Our stereographer, that's the guy who you have your director of photography, but the stereographer is actually the guy who's a new separate position on the set when you're doing a 3D film, and he's the one who's actually in charge of aligning the cameras and making sure that you're going to have good 3D. He did a film, I won't mention the name, but he did a film, actually a bigger budget film than ours right after ours, and they weren't very well prepared, and it was just a chaotic disaster.
Mm-hmm.
So it just all depends on if you know what you're doing. Also, our director of photography, Andy Park, was really instrumental in getting the handheld system developed, because we built that from scratch, and he did a really good job. He was hand-holding. I can send you some stills. He was hand-holding our rig. The thing weighed. We got it down to about 35 pounds, but but it was pretty unwieldy to hold. But the film's got a lot of really nice handheld 3D photography. And it's not shaky, it's not real jittery, but he gets close and really gets you right into the action in a way that I don't think you have been in other 3D films.
You mentioned earlier about Romero putting like a social satire, social message in the different zombie movies. Is there anything like that in your film? Or is it...
There is, but we did not go, and we've been criticized for this, but let people make their own movie and see what they do. We've been criticized for this, but our film has we do make some social comments, but as I've said before, not in this conversation, but in some other interviews I've done, that the film had already been remade once, and the screenwriter and I both liked the original 68 version quite a bit, so we decided, let's do something a little bit different. Obviously it has the same basic plot lines. It will go along pretty much like the original film, and then it will kind of go off in a different direction, and then it kind of introduces some new material, and then it kind of comes back, and then it kind of goes away from the familiar. So we do have some social commentary, but that was not like the first two versions of the film. And the thing you get into this, because people have been fairly critical of this film, but what we have found out is that most of the people who are being really critical of the film have not seen the film.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't like the idea of it.
Right.
So I say, guys, chill out. If you didn't get a chance to see it at the theater, wait for the DVD, because I'm just starting to work on the DVD extras right now, and it's going to be pretty cool. Lionsgate is putting it out for Halloween.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's going to be pretty cool, guys.
You have
so just chill on the IMDb comments, and wait for the movie to come out. Then, if you don't like the movie after you've seen it, after you've actually seen it, that's cool. If you don't like my movie once you've seen it, I can take that. But when you're just criticizing the crap out of a movie, and you haven't even seen it, it's like, come on, guys, get a life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think the internet as a whole is is too critical, too negative?
Well, yeah. And I'm not the only one to say this. Have you read some of the things that Nick Garris has said about the internet? But pretty much. It's a lot of these people who have horror websites, and I have good relationships with a number of horror websites. Some of them are a little bit more fair than others, but they just they just need material every day, but yeah, there's a lot of people out there that I don't know how qualified some of them are. Not that you can't have a horror website if you want to have one, but some of the reviews on this film were just vicious. Mm-hmm. And I don't really think they were reviewing the film. I think they were reviewing the idea of the film.
Right, the idea that you.
Because I'm telling you three guys right now, when you see the film, you're going to like it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
can't wait to see it.
Yeah. I know Sid Haig was pretty. He went off on the IMDb crowd. IMDb crowd when we had him.
Yeah. Sid likes the film.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was pretty big on the movie, but he wasn't big on the IMDb message board crowd.
Well, those didn't care for that.
Yeah, to put it subtly, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What are you saying, John?
Oh, it was actually when I asked him about the false reports about him playing Sam Loomis in the Halloween remake. So.
Right.
I remember that.
Classic.
Yeah.
There's kind of a little ironic story to this, though, because I actually wrote up a transcript of the interview, and I posted it on IMDb, and I didn't even notice it at the time, but later on I went back and looked, and right now if you go to Sid Haig's IMDb page, and there's my the transcript of the interview, and it's him lambasting IMDb, and it's on IMDb.
Right.
I just think it's kind of funny to me.
Yeah. He's got some really big fans, but there's always people up there who are negative.
Right. I also heard that you've got a feature-length documentary coming about the history of American horror movies.
Oh, I believe we think we lost him here, so probably should go to break here, and we'll be back then.
All right, we're back again. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
You got a zombie operating the phone lines.
Yeah, they're not very quick. I mean, they can take direction, but it's not fast.
We got to get some of those running zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just slow them, keep them away from your throat. Yep.
Just want to get some about your new feature-length documentary about history of American film, horror film.
Where did you hear about that?
Actually, I believe your assistant told me.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's fired. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I'm actually doing a new documentary about the history of the American horror film. But it's so early on, I can't tell you the name of it, or I can't tell you. We've already done several interviews, but I can't tell you who's in it or anything yet. It's just too early.
Okay.
But it's going to be really cool. And once we get a bit further along, we're going to announce it, and you're going to really like it.
Mm-hmm. We'll be back for that one.
But I can't really talk. It's just very early on. We just started it, and I just can't really say too much about it. Executive producers tend to like to kind of control the press on projects, and there's certain guidelines you kind of gotta play with. But I'll definitely let you know about it as soon as we announce it.
Right.
But it's going to be very cool. We've already interviewed some very cool people.
Okay.
And it's going to be good. I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah, I'm sure if we have you back for that, we'll have the phone lines all. They'll be perfect.
Yeah, or you can just send me one of your company cell phones.
There you go. Well, let everybody know too about. I believe it's out on DVD. Is the Straun House?
Yes, the Straun House is out. Was released by the Asylum last year. It's still in the new section at Blockbuster, and that stars Andrew Devoff, Karen Black, Denise Duff, and John Kassir, the Crypt Keeper, the voice of the Crypt Keeper.
Awesome.
And so Devoff was really great to work with. I'd love to work with him again. It's a very small film, but we had a good time making it. And although I will say this, since it's been out on DVD for a while, it does say unrated director's cut on the DVD box, and it's not even my cut of the film. I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest there a little bit,
right?
Because the producer / star of the film, as soon as I turned my cut in, he immediately recut the film behind my back. Am I airing dirty laundry here? You guys want to hear this stuff?
Oh, we'll hear it. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not my cut of the film. I like parts of the film I don't like. I like everything I shot pretty much, but I don't like the way that it was re-edited. And also, just another little disclaimer, the Asylum does good box art. You guys are familiar with the Asylum, right? So, Snakes on a Train, all their mockbusters. Their films are getting better. The film's been out for a while, so I'm not really giving too much away here. All the stuff that's on the DVD box is not in the film.
That's always good.
And as soon as I
brings
saw
a whole new meaning to it, don't you?
Well, I mean, they do it all the time. Basically the way DVD works is you go, you know how it works. You go to the DVD store, and you look at the box and you go, oh, that looks interesting. Who's in it? And you go, okay, let's rent this. So, that's the way people actually talk in video stores. And so, they did a clever thing. They put on this sort of hostile-like box cover, but as soon as I saw it, because after that point I was really promoting the film a lot and on the internet, and as soon as I saw the box art, I said, okay, can't promote this film because they're all going to friggin' blame it on me.
Right.
And if you go on the internet, some people have, it's like the director, controls the marketing of the film. I had nothing to do with the artwork on that film. So, anyway, but it's a fun little film, and it's fairly insane at a certain point. It has kind of an unusual monster who is revealed at the end that has fairly complex for a small film. It has fairly complex visual effects. It involves digital head replacement. The monster is, let's just say, I don't want to give too much away, but the monster, it was kind of my homage to a certain genre of early 70s films that included The Incredible Two-Headed Transplant and The Thing with Two Heads.
Oh, that's one of Troy's favorites.
But you've never seen it like this.
Uh-huh.
So I used, 2007 technology, or 2005 technology, to do digital head replacement. And so the film becomes really, the last 5 minutes of the film are really, they're a lot of fun, and that's what people have tended to respond to the most. They're really pretty nuts. Basically, the producer star, rewrote my script. And, I can talk about this stuff now. I mean, do you guys like to hear this kind of dirt?
Oh, yeah.
The guy rewrote my script, and it was a very bizarre script that Robert Valding and I had written quite a long time ago. And it was so bizarre that I never thought it would get made. So I was introduced to this guy in 2003, and he had financing to make a small horror film. So, he had to kind of remake it, or rewrite it, and make it his own. And so I kind of went along with it because I was just happy to get parts of, there were certain parts of the script that I just would not let him change. Mm-hmm. But it became kind of melodramatic at a certain point. So all the melodramatic stuff is him, and the weird, sort of edgy, weird stuff is me. Mm-hmm. So it's got kind of this unusual tone, but it's funny in places. It's darkly funny in places. John Kassir is very good in it. Denise Duff is very good at it. Do you know Denise from the Subspecies movies?
Oh, yeah, I know you mean. Yep.
Yeah, she was great to work with. John Kassir was great to work with. Beboff was great to work with. It was like I said, it was a low-budget movie with a short shooting schedule, but very ambitious. It's got 81 CG shots, some of them pretty complex. And it's got a very good score. The guy, Jason Brand, who scored that film, has also scored Night of the Living Dead 3D. Andy Park also shot that film and shot this film. So, and Robert Valding also edited my cut of the film. Then it was recut. But it's got a good cast, a very good cast for a small film. Beboff is just really good. Are you guys fans of Beboff's work?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, he's really, really good and really intense. He's just in a new movie, the Lionsgate just put out called Chicago Massacre, Richard Speck. Mm-hmm. That just came out on DVD. It's a small directed DVD title with, I think, Tony Todd's in it, and Corin Mimic. Okay. I'm giving a plug to Barnholtz Entertainment there. I hope they appreciate it. So anyway, so he's good in that. Tony Todd is good in it. Also, just
Karen Black too. So that's all.
Karen Black. Karen Black. Do you want me to talk about Karen Black?
Sure.
Karen and I are not exactly getting along too well right now.
You're not the president of the Karen Black fan club anymore.
Well, we didn't have any problems during production, but during post, we kind of had a little falling out. I don't want to go into detail, but no, I don't think that I'll be working with Karen Black anytime soon.
Just to let everybody know, too, the Straun House, you can also get it on Netflix.
Yes, you can get it on Netflix. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it, you can rent it at Hollywood Video. You can rent it at... It's a fun little movie. Also, check out the special features, though. I produced the special features on that also, and it shows we did the special features on it are quite a bit more elaborate than the average Asylum production. We showed how the digital head replacement was done with split screens and stuff, and it's also got some fairly amusing outtakes. I don't know why I'm plugging the movie so hard. It's not like I get any extra money if they sell one unit. But I'm proud of what we were able to pull off with very little money. But it's not my cut.
Right.
So that's very frustrating. That was a very kind of a not particularly enjoyable experience at certain points. I mean, during the post-production process, I got fired and hired back. Then I got fired and I got hired back again.
If we knew about I'll just say quick, if we knew about the digital head replacement, maybe when Troy drew up your caricature, he would have added that into it.
Definitely. I would have. I would have.
We don't. Let's concentrate on. By the way, is that character supposed to be me?
Yes.
Yes.
Where did you get the idea for what I look like?
We just Googled you up, I believe.
Well, okay. You might want to work a little bit on my hairline.
Oh, man. I always try to be kind to people, you know, like I shave some pounds off a few guests and things, you know.
Right, but do I have John Carpenter thing like appendages coming out of my right hand?
Well, no, you're just kind of like flinging out like
That was just to get to the 3D.
Well, let me send you some more pictures because I thought Jeremy Kasten's was a bit more flattering. But there again, you've always shown preference to Jeremy Kasten. I don't know why.
Oh, man. It's bag on Troy Day. Okay, all right.
No, it's fine. I wasn't sure if that was supposed to be me or not, but maybe that's how I really look. I don't know. Maybe
we'll send you some better pictures, and I'll make them draw you a better one.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'll like Brad Pitt. I'll do.
No. I'm not saying I look like Brad Pitt. I'll show you. I'll send you a cool picture of Sid Haig and myself on the last day of shooting after Sid had been disemboweled.
Excellent. I think this is the first time someone's publicly belittled Troy for his.
No, not belittling. Not belittling. Just making out. No. Just making very constructive criticism to his. I wonder to the fine art that I did see, the fine character art that I saw. All right. By the way, I'm looking forward to seeing Jeremy Kasten's film Wizard of Gore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
A friend of mine saw it. I forget where he saw it. He saw an early screening of it. He said it was pretty good.
Yeah, I really I like the trailer. I mean, I haven't seen the actual film yet.
He's got a good cast. I've almost worked with Jeffrey Combs a couple of times, and you'll have to excuse me. My phone is ringing. I'm just going to have to let it ring.
All right, we can wrap this up here quick if you want.
Anyway, Jeffrey Combs is in there. That film's got a good cast. Jeffrey Combs, Brad Dourif, Crispin Glover, who's a very good actor, but probably a tiny bit out there, but a good actor.
B.J. Phillips.
But I think he had a pretty good budget on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen The Thirst yet, but I did see All Souls Day. I thought he did a pretty good job for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it was a fun movie on. Was it Sci-Fi? Or was it USA?
No, Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, the Straun House is out there. It's a fun little movie. If you're a fan of weird performances, definitely check it out. But it's also got some cool nudity and some.
I'm there.
It's also got some fairly over-the-top special makeup effects.
Right. Well, that appeals to all of our fans.
And Andrew Divoff showed a lot of patience at making that film. So, everything's a little stepping stone. So anyway, Night of the Living Dead, though, is quite a bit bigger film than that one.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead 3D. Everybody check out NOTLD3D.com. And we'll have the link up on the website tonight. Anything you want to tell the fans out there before I let you go?
Just that the film is still playing in a few midnight shows around the country. The distributor re-released the film in February. It's been playing in Cincinnati for like 14 weeks. So it's playing in a handful of midnight shows around the country. And like I said, we're working on the DVD extras right now. Just started to work on them. They're going to be very cool. There's going to be a lot of DVD extras, like 3 featurettes, and also there's going to be a special behind-the-scenes look at filming in 3D. Mm-hmm. And so Lionsgate's going to put that out for Halloween. I don't have the exact date, but it'll be in October. Mm-hmm. And the DVD will be in 3D, and one side will be 3D, the other side will be 2D.
Okay.
And so I think you're going to dig it, and it's got good 3D.
With some glasses?
Oh yeah, oh sure, of course. Glasses will be there, and you'll dig it. If you haven't seen 3D, the movie has good 3D, and it's not real gimmicky.
Mm-hmm. Really appreciate you coming on tonight. Sorry for the technical problems.
We'll work through those technical problems.
We could just edit them out of the show. No one will even know.
No, it's fine.
Can I keep you here for 1 second?
This is Tom Tolles. You're listening to WithoutYourHead.com. And you're doing it without your head. Think about it. Oh, wait, you can't. You don't have a head. Oh, man, I went too far again.